Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, Cosmic Contracts with Princess Starlight. So today, again, I was connecting with Council of Light when I started talking about um, feminine collective trauma or wounds, and why it's important. Like, what did the women realize back thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years ago? What did they realize about their power? And how this scared the masculine ego side of the soul. It's not necessarily the men in the society, but the masculine ego soul that did not like that they were healing themselves and they were becoming healers, and that's why the witch and wizard hunt. And then I talk about Jesus being a very powerful healer. So when he's put on the cross, it's like a direct message of the to the rest of the healers that this should not be practiced. And I talk about womb trauma, where that is the pot where all your suppressed emotions are stored. It's nothing, it's not to do with the gender of a male body or a female body, because these suppressed emotions are getting stored in the energy form, and your soul is nothing but energy. So ultimately, whether you are in the male body or female body, if uh, if you know a little bit about incarnations, past lives and future lifetimes, so you can choose to be a man or woman, any color, any gender, any country you want to be born in. You're choosing everything for yourself, basically. Okay, so when they are discriminating us on the basis of country, our skin color, our gender, if you see it from the soul level, we are just pure forms of energy, the end period over here. So it's getting collected. Any kind of trauma, any kind of suppressed emotions are getting collected in the womb of the mother, and how it's getting passed on from generations to generation. Then I explain a little bit about the powers and how this war that the light workers and many others are fighting, it's not more it's more on the inside, your inner self, fighting your own ego, the dark side, the devil. They must be outside, but for me it's fighting your own evil, your own devil that's right within you. And from there I talk about how these I talk about sacral chakra, because these emotions that are getting suppressed are getting stored somewhere. And where are they getting stored? They're getting stored in your sacral chakra, from where you are expressing, creating. That's the seat of your creation. When you create, when you're vibrating on the energy of love, you are releasing energies that create that birth, just not just on physical levels, that women have been taught that they are just here to reproduce. Women, that's why they are so powerful. They are not just physically reproducing, they can reproduce mentally, emotionally. They can birth a new life altogether, not just on physical levels, but mind, emotions. And they have that kind, the your feminine power, basically. So it's nothing to do with your gender. Masculine and feminine energy is available in both. Imagine if we start expressing the feminine side and releasing these emotions, so even male can create and birth on emotional and mental level and spiritual level. But for females, because we have the body of a woman right now in this incarnation, we can physically birth a higher soul, we can physically birth a new life. So creativity, that's the seat of your creativity. So what happens when this is blocked, and how you're going to recognize it, and what happens when it is not blocked? Then I talk a little bit more about my clients, my client experience, then my own experiences. I share a little bit about that, and then I finally put some questions for all of you out there, that if you are you know imagining your size and the size of the universe, and then just think, not using your logic, do you think there is infinite possibility out there for different creations, different lives, different life forms, and creating a life for our creating a life that we want. So you might want a happy life, you may want a peaceful life, a life where there is more harmony, where there is quietness, where there's more love. Whatever your need is, basically you are wanting more of the energies of love. The main folder is love, and then there are subdivisions. So now these subdivisions are the energies of harmony, peace, kindness, compassion, all these things. So the main folder is love, and love is the quality of the soul, and soul is created from the light of God's source, the main source, therefore love and light. And so it kind of became a lengthy, but it's going to be, if you want to get into more about your sacral chakra and how you're going to heal it, there are so many tons of videos out there, so many articles. You can also reach out to me if you need help. Today's message, because I was talking about how we are child of love, of the divine God, he created us from love. So I'm again using Diana Cooper's card deck, and this is for the children. And today's card is Angelic Child. When you behave like an angel, you grow invisible wings. What is soul looking for? Freedom. Freedom means that you can fly and be where you wish to be. Freedom gives you those invisible wings. So be that angelic child that we were meant to be. You must have heard about the concept of fallen angels. That's nothing. It's talking about souls who were initially in previous times living in these higher vibrations, and then they fell down to the vibrations of fear, guilt, shame, worry, unworthiness, and they couldn't most of us can't even reach the neutral point. But now is the time to ascend and get back into those energies. So today's card is very beautiful. I think it was perfect for my today's episode. Be the angelic child that we were meant to be. Thank you. Council of Light, healing the feminine collective. The female collective has gained a lot of trauma over many centuries. This is not new. This is not 100 years, 1,000 years, but much more further. Previously, females, when they used to have their periods, they would go out of their communities. And if you know about women sinking their periods, then generally a group of women would leave the community and go out. And as they bled, they would share their emotions. And as they shared their emotions, they released, they let go of the old. And as they let go of the old, they made space for new universal energies of divine love and light to fill their vessel. With this, as time moved on, women realized that as they removed their dense emotions, they became powerful. They gained strength, courage, compassion, not just for their own selves, but they could spread it to others. Because as they received these energies, their bodies became radiators of such energies. Such energies started bringing harmony, peace, love, oneness among their communities. and definitely it was not liked by some, especially the souls that had ego. The masculine ego souls did not accept that, and therefore they termed them as witches and wizards. These healers knew that emotional release is the release of old energy from which we run, our families run, our communities run, uniting us, making us stand together in love, peace, brotherhood, and sisterhood. These women and men, termed as witches and wizards, were healers. They understood. They understood the concept of how universal energy flows into us and connects everything. They were conscious beyond their years. They had knowledge. They were like scientists who could work with energies to improve their and lives of other people around them. And this is the main reason why for centuries the healers were hunted down. Because if one awakened, then he or she had the power to awaken others. And if all souls awakened, then who would they control? Who would they instill fear to feed on? No, this could have not happened. Look in terms of Jesus. They realized that Jesus has become a very powerful healer. And this is the reason, back in those days, when the consciousness of the community or the masses was low, they termed him the same, that he's doing witchcraft and he's a wizard, and all those nasty things were called to him because they realized his power. And the people he healed, they too realized it. So all the people who are Reiki practitioners, or they can share their energies, you know how you bring in the energy and then share it with others? When you bring in these energies, you're not healing your own self. You're just not healing your own self. You're healing everyone around you, big or small. It doesn't matter. Every soul is responsible for its own ascension, for its own soul growth. But right now on this planet, the more one tries to awaken, the more they will find that there are things coming in his or her direction that show him that what they are doing is false, and the world we are currently living in, that's the truth. And sometimes you will find that it's your own family members. For that, I say, please do not get angry, for they are unawakened. But if you are awakened and you realize your powers to heal, that when you start clearing the emotional trauma that has collected within, especially for females, the womb trauma, any emotionally suppressed feeling that was not expressed gets stored in the womb. And as it gets stored in the womb and a baby is formed, so when the woman gets pregnant, so whether she gets pregnant by a male child or a female child, please remember that this vessel is male or female, but the soul within has no gender. It's pure energy made of masculine and feminine. The feminine aspect and the masculine aspect is present in every body, irrespective of whether they are males or females. So the feminine energy of the soul learned how to release the old energy, making space for new, and this new brought in creativity, birthing of new ideas, inspiration. And the masculine side is the go getter, logical, always taking command, decisions. So when something like that starts happening, the masculine is like not it's not able to calculate, it's not able to apply logic. And this is the reason that it's the internal ego which is not able to verify, how by just releasing emotions one is becoming powerful, one is becoming kind in love and creating oneness among everybody. So it's the logical side, the reptilian side, that is not able to understand the logic, and hence it decides that it is dangerous and we should not get into this. So you must know the concept of ego death. It's the same. It's within. The devil, Satan, bad people, they're outside or not, I don't know that. All I know is that this evil, this darkness, this ego is within us, that at every step it tricks us, showing that this is the world and anything outside of it is not true. So do not give up. If you have seen the power of what happens when you release that emotion out of you, whether it's the emotion of hatredness, anger, jealousy, feeling restricted. Like for me, I have given this example before. I was fat shamed. I'm still fat shamed by my family. And then I realized that the more they do that, the more I invested my time in eating only. And that's when I realized it's my ego side. At times I still get triggered when they say that, but I realized that it's my ego which is not letting me release myself to my full potential. So when the people from outside try to explain things to me, I'm taking it in the negative sense. No matter how harsh that felt to me, that I am the one, you know, responding back, and I am being angry, aggressive about it, that why are they saying this to me, overeating myself. All this while, for so many years, I fought, only to realize that it's my ego. My ego doesn't want me to find the best version of myself. So you see, start looking into the patterns. Where is your ego shutting you off, bringing in anger, and telling you that the others are wrong and you are right? Yes, with this story, I don't mean to say that if you're being fat shamed continuously, then it's right. It's their problem if they cannot fix it, right? At the end of the day, it's on the soul to realize that it's in something within them. In the same way, I realize it's their thoughts and beliefs, and if I do not associate that my outer appearance describes my worth, then yes, that's also true. So I create um, a boundary, a boundary where I say it's your thoughts and beliefs, but not mine. My thoughts and beliefs are that yes, I need to be healthy, and at the same time, my outer appearance does not define my worth. So there's a difference. I hope I'm able to put my point across that there are so many out there facing so many things on day-to-day basis. And if you're carrying a womb trauma that shuts your sacral chakra, that's 2 inches below your belly button, your navel button. It's right there. It's yellow in color, yellow or orange. Okay, we'll check that. You can check that on Google. The point is, when you have that womb trauma, so what happens is a person has gone through repressed feelings. They weren't they did not express, especially in male dominant societies, where we see, even if like, we are very loved, yet at times when we try to express ourselves, we are like, okay, now do not, you're being too much, you should not express yourself so much, and they want you to shut. So what happens is, when I'm not expressing how I feel about something, then what happens is, and especially if I'm asked to shut from somebody outside, what happens is I shut myself. That means I'm closing that energy that I wanted to express. And now, where is this energy getting stored? It's getting stored in the womb, the pot. And now it's getting suppressed. And imagine if somebody has gone through emotional, mental, physical abuse, then imagine the kind of energy that is getting stored. Especially if somebody has gone through, like, I had this person, I we were doing she's a friend, and I was just doing a normal session for her. Okay, and she said that how, you know she was touched by her own male family members, and then casually by her friends, and she would just stand there frozen. And as she grew, she said, ah, that's all right, I'm not affected by it. And she let it go. And then she got into the relationship. And that's where she found that initially, from mental to physical to emotional, at every level, she was very good, doing very well. But then, as the relationship moved forward, it became very cold. She just couldn't feel anything. Do you see the effect of trauma? You might feel that, oh, it's not affecting me. It's all right. I have let it go. But it's stored in you, and it's not letting you function in all areas of your life, just not the relationship aspect. Your your career, your relationship with your friends and family. Do you feel that you're always distant? You always want to be isolated. People who are spiritually growing, ascending, they love their space. That's true. But are you extensively keeping yourself isolated? You have to check that. Are you able to connect with people, or when people speak, you're like, no, just You just cannot take their energy, then maybe it's because your energies are too heavy right within you, inside of you. And until these emotional energies are released, you're not going to make space for new. So, if and with the kind of, you know, how females were suppressed. Remember the story I told you in the beginning, that they went out, they had their periods, they shared their stories, and they healed? This is the reason why females were not asked to, they were put under restrictions of they should not educate themselves, they should stay in the kitchen, they're only meant to birth. Why are these restrictions put on women? Because if women realize that they can release their emotions, they are going to become very powerful. So maybe you are in a male body right now, but your soul is pure energy. So today you might be, this life you might be a male, but maybe from past life or future life timelines you can be a female again, right? So soul is the one that is carrying that energy forward. So sometimes you are getting that energy from your past life, and some from your family. So generational karma, especially for the light workers, we have chosen families which has a lot of accumulated karmic debt for generations. So therefore, most of the light workers, because they are healers, have chosen a family. And when any one person in the family heals themselves, they heal the 7 generations backward and 7 generations that are going to come after them. If you read a little bit about womb healing, you will realize that we were not just formed in our mother's body. We were formed in our mother's body. So it's our grandmother, when she was carrying our mother, that's when, like a tiny cell atom, we were present there, absorbing that energy. So in females, these traumas of these unexpressed feelings come out in a different way. For men, it comes out in different ways, and it's generally because it's collected in your womb, so it gets stored in your sacral chakra. Now sacral chakra is your your second chakra above the root. And once you step into this, you will realize that it's an orange or yellowish, it's a orange color chakra, and it's it's associated with your emotions of desire, passion, connection, pleasure, intimacy. So if you're not experiencing your life to your fullest, if you feel that you're not, like inside you feel you're very creative, you feel that you have so and so desires, but on the outside you feel it's not matching, there is a gap, you're not expressing your creativity, you're not living your life to the fullest, right? When all these things are coming, then there is repressed emotion stored in you. Now let's talk about the symptoms. What are the symptoms? So remember, your creativity is coming from your sacral chakra, your flexibility, it's the center of pleasure and emotions. So what are the symptoms? Symptoms can be like you have severe back pain, or you have high sexual energy, like you feel a need of sexual partners frequently. It's not like you're just satisfied by one or two. So people get on and out of relationship. That's another thing. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is they indulge themselves more in sex. So there is a huge difference between intimacy, then lovemaking, and sex. So I'm talking about the last part. They are just focused on that because emotionally they are blocked. So when it comes to intimacy or lovemaking, it requires one to emotionally express themselves, which is not happening. So I am talking about pure need of just penetration and ejaculation and just being done with it. In these cases, they are looking for multiple partners. They are addicted to porn, or or they are basically living. They are not connected to their self, emotional self. So they're just looking to satisfy that pleasure of their mind. The second is they have gynecological problems. Sorry, I just fumble at times. Then irregular menstruation, depression, fear and insecurity, jealousy, low self esteem, isolation, and detachment from the society. They have addictive behaviors like drinking, smoking, excessive eating habits. Like I had it, not realizing that it's something that's stuck in me and I need to release it. Now, these are the blockages, few of them. Either highly sexual active or zero interest in sex these people have, or they cannot connect with people. Actually, starseeds and light workers, they usually are not able to connect. That's another thing. But on overall level, are you able to connect with anybody? So we are generally thinking that it's our partners with whom we would be able to connect at every level. So are you connecting with your partners at every level or no? So enough of unblockages. In short, it's the stagnant energy which is blocking the ability to access the gifts that are associated with yourself, your unique blueprint. So when we are doing the shadow work, the inner child is more related to root chakra, but the shadows, the hidden aspects, that's in your sacral chakra, that's stored in your sacral chakra. So you won't be leading an active life. You will be more like a dominant lethargic person and having not desires to either be sexually active or create, enjoy your life, and you will have urinary or kidney problems. But if it's balanced, remember, it's the seat of your creativity, your passions, your desire, and people always say, in this on this planet, sex is a taboo. But what they're not realizing it is that intimacy and the art of love making, and through that, bringing, birthing a soul into this planet, that soul is going to have a very different energy, because you're bringing something new. Your creativity, your sexual passions, your desires, whether it's not just bringing a human life, whether it's creating your work, your business, your family, your home, you're birthing a creative idea, inspirations. So that is the place, and therefore there are many taboos, because the people if they start expressing their art, they start expressing the energy of love from their soul, then you can imagine the kind of things that will be birthed right on this planet, where there will be peace, uh, sustainable environments for everybody, safety, security for everybody. And this is the reason, this is why the things that are beneficial for us, there is a huge taboo towards it. So if now this chakra is balanced, then your creativity is flowing, you're feeling joyful, your sexuality, you're not either too low or too high. You won't like things like porn, or going, people who visit prostitute or whorehouses. That won't excite you. It's this that is not that is not love or sex. Because people who have awakened are looking for intimacy, and to have intimacy means having a lot of trust and oneness, respect for the other soul. And it's only going to happen when you have those things for your own self. You will have prosperity, you will get more patience, you will have more pleasures of life, not just physical pleasures, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There will be pleasures when a soul is spiritually ascending, and it opens to the universe to receive its gifts and blessing. That is also a kind of pleasure. So these are few things for sacral chakra, especially starseed, light workers, advanced souls, healers. All of you have to remember it. This is the place for, especially for witches and wizards who were thought they were there. What I'm trying to say is, this is the reason why we were emotionally wounded purposely, and now unpurposely by people outside. Some did it purposely in our past lives so that we could not express our uniqueness, our strengths, and be powerful and stand in our own powers. That is why emotionally you are, especially the collective feminine energy of this planet, is damaged, is wounded. There is a reason, because the females are going to create, bring life to something. Not so that's why they said, oh, they should be only restricted to having babies, because it's just bringing a physical life. But they can, this chakra, your emotions, can birth so many other beautiful ideas in this world that can heal not just you or people around you, but the entire planet. A small idea today can become really huge. So that birthing, that creative birthing needs to happen. And in order to create, you need to remove those emotional blockages. And as you start removing them, you will see how beautiful life is. That there's this constant worry, stress, and always running, like life is a race. You need to run, you need to do these things, and always you cannot. Have you heard the statement, like even our parents used to say that life is not about relaxing? It's not like how you keep lying down and relaxing. You have to work very hard, you have to put in, you have to go and literally work yourself off so that you can get back the money, and then that life is also not sufficient. Worry, stress, people have become accustomed to that life, that this is the only way life has to be. They are not able to see that you can have a peaceful, happy life without going into these dramas of the life that we are currently existing in, the system that we have, 9 to 5, then marriage at so and so age, children at so and so age, this huge system that is already set for us, is somehow making us really unhappy, making us feel worthless, filling us with guilt and shame, because if you cannot work according to the system standards, then obviously, you are made to feel that, you're less worthy of something. But every soul is unique. Every soul has a beautiful gift. Every soul can connect with their spiritual team and find what's for them. Every soul's blueprint is different. And if you are awakened, if you realize the potential that you can create, you're here to create, birth a new life that is going to, when you create something, when you're happy, do you see how your energies affect everybody around you? It's the same when you can create a life of happiness, of peace, of abundance for yourself. Then automatically you don't have to stress and tell them, oh, I'm awakened, you need to awaken, and this is soul. Like, if we start talking that ways, you understand how people are going to be like, they're like gone crazy. That's all we'll be called, right? So it's for you. The work has to be done within. That peace, that happiness, once we start cultivating those energies within, and start releasing the emotionally repressed feelings that were there from a very, very long time. Some we got from our past, some we got from the family we were born into, from friends, partners. Release them. Start working this entire life. You cannot do the working, you cannot be like, today you do a healing session and tomorrow it's going to be over. Healing yourself is a lifelong process, but you need to start from somewhere. As I said, healing your soul, finding your power and potential, and ascending your soul is it's only your responsibility. You can have the best family, the best partner, but at the end of the day, your energies, that is aka your karma, is your own responsibility. Nobody can help you with that, because once you go up and your life review happens, you are standing there alone. So it's nothing to do with your family, your partners. Like, for in my case, both my parents are very spiritual beings. They truly feel connected. Like I told you, my family is big time Hanuman Bhakt. They follow Hanumanji, and I too believe a lot in him, right? But as long as you are being spiritual and you're connecting, that's fine. But once you start expressing your divine self through the divine above, they do not understand that. So I cannot sit here trying to explain my work. Therefore, all I can do is work on myself, improve my life, show that yes, you can have a life of happiness and abundance, and you don't have to stress. They have lived their entire lives doing that, the previous generation. So it is very hard for them to even, think something beyond this, right? And now imagine the previous generations, what kind of a life they had, their worries. Even they couldn't see something beyond that. It's right now in this time that the energies from the sun, from the central sun to our sun in our solar system, and then to this planet are getting radiated. These portals, these energies, these light codes are now being downloaded more than ever. There are more than millions and millions of souls who have incarnated from other planets, with higher vibrations, and more are going to come. So everybody needs to work. So I really feel your collective feminine emotional wound, the emotions that have been suppressed collectively, need to be removed. And it's not the job of just one, but everybody, once we start working with ourselves, it's automatically our light shines, the other person's light is also going to shine, because they will see this and they would want to, because they will see there is a way. There is a way, and if few people have done that, then I can also do it. Like when I used to see Oprah, or there's so many examples of women, and the only thing would come to my mind is that they could do it. So even I can have a life where I can be free, happy, peaceful. That's all I want. So when certain people become examples, they become the beacons of light. And that is why we get inspired by such souls. That is why we want to be like them, because we want to be free. At the end of the day, soul is looking for its freedom. It's looking to create a life based on their own choices and be happy. This is like the basic frequency of every soul. Every soul wants love. Every soul wants freedom. Every soul wants to have a life that is created by their own choices, because we are making the choices, remember? So do you see this pattern, that every soul deep down is looking for this? And then emotionally, whether it was through dark agenda, or men got scared of women's power, or whatever the reason, but emotionally the key was emotions. They are your energy in motion, right? And your energy is radiating outside. So what is happening is, if I suppress your emotions, you won't be able to release them. You won't be able to invite the above divine light and energy into your vessel. It's not just the light workers' job, by the way, that light workers are, they just have the capacity to hold more light than the rest, but that doesn't mean that the other person or the other soul, the other vessel is not able to hold. Even they are able to hold. Every vessel, every soul is energy, so every vessel is holding the light. So if I have suppressed my emotions, I don't have space for new. If I don't have space for new, then I don't have space to express, to invite more love, joy, all these divine energies in my body, and then create a life of what I desire. That I am powerful, I am strong, I am a peaceful soul, I am a blessed soul, I am the child of divine. And therefore, love, freedom is my divine right. Do you see that? It's your divine right. And if you are awakened, if you're still not awakened, but you're still continuously feeling that, there's something else for me, this world that I have been brought into, living into, it's not making sense anymore, day in, day out, you're just sitting and thinking there's something else, believe me, it's your soul, your inner self telling you that there is something else that you were meant to do. It's not wrong. So now you understand, from one soul, individual to collective level, the emotional traumas. Do you see the levels now? If you see the level, you'll see how the traumas are created. Especially women, because they can physically birth something new, right? So that's why sexual assault, rape, torture, physical abuse, domestic violence, just to shut them, right? And for men, they are going to wars, and they see the traumas of killing or being killed, or their loved ones being killed. These are just few examples that I'm putting out there. And then these war heroes come back with PTSD, with so much of trauma in them, and they cannot express because men are taught that if they cry or they express, then their manhood is tainted. I don't understand why. Why can't men cry and express themselves the way they want to do? Nobody is 100% masculine or 100% feminine. Soul has masculine and feminine energy, so whether you're in a male body or female body, you have both of them. So even a man can cry, even a woman can take charge and be a fighter. It can happen both ways. It depends on the energy that is more active in you, and therefore you need to balance the two. Once you balance, you align to the energies of divine above, and you realize there is more. Remember the example of how vast the universe is? And then come down to you, from your size to the size of the universe. Imagine the possibilities out there. Infinite. You can be anything you want to be. That's the truth. The universe is so vast. This planet in itself is so vast. We are more than 7 billion on this planet. But there's space for everybody. There is a reason why scarcity is being created at a very from individual to large level. And as more and more people are realizing that this system, this scarcity is not working, there has to be something, on the collective level now people are more requiring, they're like, there has to be another way. Are you hearing the statement continuously? People are saying that there has to be another way. There is a way, but we have to now birth it. We have to bring it to life, put breath into that work and move. I think I took a lot of time here today. I just get lost when I talk. So with that, I would like to end today's episode. Lots of love and light. Princess Starlight.